Gyokeres, Madueke, Rodrigo, Nico Jackson, Jadon Sancho, Donnarumma, plus more. Welcome to the Arsenal and Chelsea weekly transfer news. Marky Mark, we are going to go straight into it because breaking big news of this week, Victor Gyokeres is coming to Arsenal.
Very good. Very good. That is a huge, huge signing. It doesn't actually matter if you guys don't get anyone else, to be fair. I think the number one thing was you secured a striker. And in my opinion, because I know Arsenal fans have had this thing of which one do you want to have? Do you want to have Sesko or do you want to have Gyokeres? And I told you weeks ago in earlier podcasts, why would Arsenal fans want Sesko? He got 13 goals last year in the Bundesliga. Yes, he's young. Yes, he has potential. But right now, Arsenal needs a challenge. They need someone that's ready right now to take them across the line. And Gyokeres, as I said, is the man. And I think he is the perfect signing for Arsenal FC. You guys have been working on this deal for months, and now even Gyokeres has had to go on strike. He's dealing with some disciplinary issues with Sporting just to force this move. Arsenal was the only club on his mind, and he's not lucky. He secured his dream signing, and I think that Arsenal secured their best option as a striker, and that's my personal opinion. Gyokeres to Arsenal. You're the Arsenal guy. Come on. How happy are you?
Over the effing moon. Mark, I tell you what, I know we were going back and forth. You and I were talking about Gyokeres, Sesko, and I was kind of playing it down a bit because I was thinking we might get Sesko. And don't get me wrong, I think Sesko will smash it wherever he goes. But it's got to be Gyokeres. It has to be Gyokeres because you know what? People can talk about the league and whatever else that he's in, and Bundesliga will translate well, it will translate better. The bottom line is, he's in his prime right now. He's proven, and he knows where the goal is. The goal at Sporting Lisbon and the Portuguese league is the same size as the goal in the Premier League. Gyokeres knows how to find it better than most people out there. In fact, better than anyone that's actively on the market, because Salah, Haaland, Isak, well, we don't know about Isak, but
Kane.
Those three are probably not for sale. Harry Kane, they're not for sale. So have we gone out and got best in breed of what's available? You bet your ass we have. And I reckon you are right, Mark. This puts us in the frame for next season. We are live. We are live. Victor Gyokeres. Zubimendi's done. Great signing. Kepa, great bit of business. But this is the game changer. And I don't think it'll be the last one as well. So, in short, Gyokeres to Arsenal. Class. I know we were haggling over a couple of million quid or whatever else. But
yeah.
Job done.
I am actually so happy, not that he's gone to Arsenal, because I think that will make you a force which gives you the potential, the real potential to take the title. But I'm happy because I'm a fan of Gyokeres, as I have said for weeks. And just to see him in the Premier League and really, because all eyes are going to be on him, Geezer, right? He is supposed to be the game changer you just said, the Messiah, the guy to take Arsenal over the line. And I want to see him because I want to see how he does in the Premier League. And he might have an embed season, which does happen. Yeah, you're coming into the Premier League. Yeah, you're paid in the Championship. I got that. You got some English experience, but the Premier League is a step up. He may have some time to adapt, but whether he adapts the next few months, over the next year, I know that he will come good. And I am excited to see this guy. I'm a football fan, Geezer.
That's what I love about you.
Bro,
that is what I love about you, Minge.
I've got to do it. I've got to say, I'm excited to see him. But yes, wow, Gyokeres, locked down, sealed. Congratulations.
Bro,
that's where.
Thank you, my man. That's where me and you are a bit alike, innit? We are Arsenal fans, but we can be a bit more subjective and be like, you know what, fair play, someone's brought in. I'm actually keen to see them in the Premier League. And that is what I like about you compared to the rest of your fans that I know. And by that, your fans, I mean, you know, I've got Chelsea fans on that side. Nat's uncle and her cousin are Chelsea fans, right? And then we've got Chelsea fans, one in particular who, anyway, less said the better. Bit delusional. But moving on. So, Gyokeres, it looks like it's done. Coming to Arsenal, big coup, big signing.
It's done.
Now, obviously, we've got Rodrigo, that link, but Eze has now been thrown into the mix as well. Do you think either of these signings are likely, or is this just noise?
I actually believe, that I think that you guys need an additional attacker, a flexible attacker. Now, you've got Madueke, who we're going to touch on, right? Because we haven't really touched on him. But let's go back to Eze Rodrigo. I think that you need, or you should be looking to secure another one of these players. And I think the best bet would be to secure Eze, because he's not going to cost you an arm and a leg in wages. He's not going to cost you an arm. I mean, you're probably going to save 20 million in terms of actually payments, getting a new striker. Eze 60 million or whatever. Rodrigo's 80 million plus. And I think that Eze really wants to go to Chelsea. I think he would play for the shirt. You can imagine him kissing the shirt. He was released by Arsenal as a youngster. Then he got onto Crystal Palace, proved his worth. Now he's going to come back to Arsenal, potentially for 60 million. I think that would be the smarter decision. He's Premier League proven. He knows exactly how the league works. There is no embedding period with someone like Eze. You need an additional player that can come in, hit the ground running. And I think Eze will do that quicker than Rodrigo. That being said, Rodrigo is world class. And if you got him, right, I don't think any Arsenal supporter is going to be complaining. In fact, they're probably going to prefer that. But there isn't that much of a huge difference when you balance it out pound for pound. Eze or Rodrigo, if you manage to secure one of them, I think that will give you an even better fighting chance to close the Premier League title next season. Your thoughts?
I love it when we have these rare moments, Mark, where you and I are completely aligned. Everything you said, I agree with. Eze, proven tested in the Premier League, cheaper option to Rodrigo, versatile. He can play, he can put pressure on the Odegaard role. Right? Now, listen, I love Odegaard. Arsenal fans love Odegaard. He had a poor season last season. Notwithstanding, he is our captain. But, and I think he'll have a good season, by the way, because Zubimendi allows him to go forward, I think. And Zubimendi will look to find Odegaard. Having said that, a bit of pressure will do him some good. Because, yes, Eze can play out on the wing, but he can also play the number 10. And that is the thing. I love the signing of Eze. I've always liked Eze in the Premier League. He's been doing it in the Premier League, as you said. Now, obviously, Arsenal fans won't be disappointed with Rodrigo, but let's go out and get Eze. If we can get him, he'll be cheaper. He's versatile. He's proven, and he is going to add value and quality to our squad and our first 11.
Absolutely.
Great signing. Guys, go out and get him, because I tell you what, Mark is right. Arsenal get Gyokeres, which it looks like is done, and we get Eze. Hey, we're live. We are live.
He fits straight into your first 11 on the left.
Of course he does.
He will fit over Martinelli. He pisses on him. Assad pisses on him. Madueke, who we're going to get into, pisses on him. He has to start. You got him. You got Gyokeres. Bro, you're going to have Saka, world class. Gyokeres, one of the best strikers in the world. Eze, a super dynamic, attacking, dribbling magician. Bro, now you got cover. Bro, it's a bit scary. You're gonna be a force if you manage to secure Eze or Rodrigo. So this is definitely one to watch. Make sure you guys subscribe, right, for all the latest up-to-date news and reactions. If you like the video, like it for us. Let's move on to your boy, Noni Madueke. 48 million paid straight up to Chelsea, my club, plus 4 million add-on, 52 million deal. As a Chelsea fan, I am super happy that we are managed to milk you guys again. You're like the trash bin collectors of Chelsea. We just lob off and rip you guys off, and we just dump all of our crap to you. And then you get them and you're like, yay, they're great signing, but you don't win nothing. Talk to me about Madueke, because I'm stoked that he's gone.
Mark, this is why everyone hates us Arsenal fans. I get so frustrated with our own fan base. Okay, look, Mark, when we spoke about Madueke, before. You and I have spoken about him quite a bit. Was it a deal that I wanted? No, not really. But then the more I thought about it, I was thinking, okay, well, he's going to play backup to Saka. He's also versatile. You know, Chelsea, Enzo started playing him out on the left last few games of the season. 30 mil, great. Why not? 50 mil, I'm like, okay, regardless of payment terms, I'm sure we've got favourable payment structure in place, yeah? So it's not coming out of our budget this season, for example. But favourable payment terms or not, 50 mil to me suggests like we're then not going to go for an Eze, because that suggests to me you don't pay 50 plus mil for just squad depth, complete backup. He's supposed to be an understudy to Saka, Mark, which he's apparently happy to do. But now it's like, okay, well, actually, I thought he was coming in at maybe like 30 mil. I would have actually said 25 mil. I'd be like, whoa, that's a good signing. The guy's direct, he's young, he's raw, and he can be coachable. He'll be an understudy to Saka. He'll learn. 25 mil, boom, no worries. Double the fee, and suddenly it makes me feel, actually, we're not going to go for Eze. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like we're going to get Madueke. Now, let me go back to the original point. I know I'm getting a bit laboured here, but stick with me, Mark. Why are Arsenal fans hated by everyone? Well, there's certain channels out there, right, that don't do Arsenal fans any favours. I find the guys quite funny, personally, quite entertaining, whatever. But then you have stupid stuff like certain sections of Arsenal fans, and Rio Ferdinand came out and mentioned it as well, didn't he?
Yes.
They've started a petition.
Did you sign it?
Against the twat. Who said that? Here's the thing, Mark, yeah? As soon as the geezer puts on the Arsenal shirt, he's not even kicked a ball for us, you twat. I'm 100% going to get behind him, right? Because, okay, we paid for him, Why would I even think about, now complaining? Right? It's done, right? If it's done, it's done. Get behind the boy, yeah? You don't know what kind of tune Arteta is going to get out of him, and you don't know what kind of role he's going to play in the squad. You don't know. And on what you don't know, okay? So it's the unknown. So get behind him. Don't boo him, firstly. Don't moan and gripe. But most importantly, don't start and sign a petition against the signing of Madueke when, by the way, it's going to happen whether you do it or not. Why would you do that? Have you ever seen... I don't know if I've ever heard of a fan base doing that. I know it's a small section of our fans, but that small section is making a lot of noise, as Ferdinand said. And this is the stupidity of certain fans at clubs. But I can't think of another club that's done this. It's, you know, fans starting a petition.
Yeah, bruv, it's classless. I'm not speaking to every
and Arsenal
single...
is a classy club historically, whether you like to know or not. And
I agree.
This is so classless, mate.
It is. It's only a small section, but they're so against it. It doesn't put the best light on the club and the fans, because even though it's a small section, you know, not everyone's going to think of it and look at the whole picture like we are, isn't it? They're just going to assume that all Arsenal fans are like that, and clearly they're not. It's classless, geezer. And you know what you just said? The one thing you said, don't boo our own players. Let me tell you something. When Madueke puts on Arsenal shirt, yeah, and he goes out, and if Arsenal supporters boo their own players, now it's not a small section that have signed a petition. It's however how many people in your stadium, 60, 70, 80,000 people booing him. That's another level. And that would damage the club's classy reputation, which I agree with, into classless, because you can't be booing your own players. You got to support them. The guy wants to come to Arsenal for whatever reason, whether to be back up, maybe he thinks he's going to have a better chance of winning the league. Stupid if you ask me. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Chelsea's still going to do it before that. I don't know what Madueke is thinking. Maybe he's got some of his mates there that he wants to bum in before he jumps onto the pitch. Who knows? But regardless, he's there. Regardless, he's your player. Regardless, Arsenal supporters better support your own players.
I couldn't agree more. Arsenal fans, we got to get behind Madueke. And by the way, I think you will be proven wrong. Not proven wrong. You didn't say it's going to happen. But I don't think he'll get booed by the stadium. I don't think he'll get booed by the fans. However, you are right. If he does get booed, classless, absolute stain on the club. And Arsenal fans, any Arsenal fans out there watching that are not happy with Madueke, fine, drop us a line, leave a comment as to why. You know, I wasn't 100% behind the signing myself. But equally, if you're thinking of going down there and booing, drop us a line, let us know why, because I tell you what, it's not on. And it would be a scumbag move, in my opinion. Anyway, look, before we move off Noni Madueke, I just want to throw something out there to you, Mark. Arsenal and Chelsea do a lot of business between each other.
Yes.
And it's one-way business in the sense of, obviously it serves both parties, but it's typically Arsenal signing Chelsea players. If we go through it, we've done last few seasons, Petr Cech, David Luiz, Willian, Sterling,
Jorginho, Kai
Havertz. There's more actually. Didn't we do another one as well? I can't remember. And then now obviously we're doing Madueke, Kepa we've just done. And all these deals, Mark, if you notice, our Gyokeres deal was taking a little bit of while, right? A little bit of time to get through. Now, anytime we do a deal with Chelsea, it's done quick. And more often than not, Mark, I'm no conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying, you'd have to say we've slightly, a few mil here and there, some cases definitely a few more than a few mil, overpaid. What is that about? Have we got like some understanding? Has Bowley and Kroenke got some understanding or what? Listen, no conspiracy theory here. It is what it is. Maybe we just like taking your top talent or what we deem as top talent. Whether it is or it isn't, I don't know. It may not be top talent. I don't know. A lot of Chelsea fans I've spoken to say Madueke is your best winger. I think personally Neto's better than him. But anyway, my point being is that why are we able to do... We're not friends. We're London rivals. And we're the two biggest teams in London, whether anyone else likes it or not, we're the two biggest and two most successful teams in London, divided by a very small mileage between the two clubs. Let's face it, North London versus fucking West London. What is going on? Why are we able to do business with you? And why are we constantly doing business with you and going, hey, here's 60 mil, here's 50 mil, here's another 70 mil. What's going on there? Or is anything going on?
Well, I honestly think, though, it's understandable why you're thinking that. And it's a bit concerned. I think it's down to a couple of reasons. I think, firstly, the most important reason, even though that Arsenal, Chelsea are direct London rivals, okay? I think that the clubs have a very good relationship and a very good understanding. And I think that good relationship makes it easy for someone like Mikel Arteta, who is the Arsenal manager, to think, oh, you know what? I like Madueke, I like Kai Havertz, I like Kepa, I like Jorginho. We have a good relationship with them. Maybe can we make some inquiries and this and that? And then obviously have a negotiation start. But I just think that they have a really good relationship because that otherwise, how else can you explain it? The manager, Mikel Arteta is not just a coach. He is a manager, which means he has a big say into the incomings and the outgoings. He is able to manage the squad pretty much how he sees fit. He is the one going to the board going, I like this player, I like that player from Chelsea. Maybe we can get him on the cheap, start the negotiations. And they've had such a long history of transfers. Yeah, there's also been, a few Arsenal players that have gone to Chelsea as well. Giroud, Ashley Cole, etc. So even over the last couple of decades, they've had some good relationship. And as you say, it just happens quickly. So I think it's just a good relationship. Plus, the second thing is Arteta. Arteta is a bit of a clown, right? Because he seems to be going after, as I said, I'm not a fan of his, we did, the best and worst transfers for Arsenal and for Chelsea. And his list is so extensive. It's unbelievable. And half of them were all three-quarters of them have been trashed. That's my opinion. You might say different. And now you're still going after more Chelsea players. And the players that you're getting, we have no issues getting rid of them. You want to take Madueke, Chelsea fans are happy. You want to take Kepa, Chelsea fans are happy. You want to take Kai Havertz, 300,000 a week, 65 million that you paid to us, take him. You want to take Jorginho, he wasn't that effective for us, take him. All the players that you seem to go for, Chelsea really just want to dump them and milk you guys. But it's not. Is it milking? Because I think it is. Because Arteta's happy. He's the one authorising these signings.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point, man. I think you're right. The two clubs do. Yeah, the two clubs do have a good relationship. And I think maybe that's why I'm in Chelsea. Maybe I'm the one brokering these deals. Joking. Right. I don't disagree with what you said. I think Arteta's signings had to be rubbish at the start. No one decent wanted to come to us. We were eighth. We were terrible.
Well, that's true.
He'll get judged now on these recent signings. So let's see if these ones are a hit or a miss. We will see. Okay. Let's move on. A couple of guys being released, by the way. I just want to shout out honourable mention to Tomiyasu, who has been released by us early before his contract ended. Rumour has it his knees shot to pieces. It's a real shame because I really do rate the guy, and that's just a rumour. Otherwise, I don't see why we wouldn't keep him. So versatile across the back four, did a great job for us. Nothing but love for Tomiyasu. So all the best to him when he, if and when he lands at his next club. Mark,
Partey. What about Partey?
Let's move on to right. Yeah, what about Partey?
Come on, he's
Partey's left the club. It is what it is. I know we're going to get a load of a stick about Thomas Partey, but bro, it's a real shit situation, right? He's got a cloud hanging over his head. There was a cloud hanging over the club. I hope to God he's not guilty. In my book, like I've said, throughout across everyone, even when Mendy was charged and whatever else, like everyone's innocent until proven guilty. I don't know what he's done or what he hasn't done. I just find it a bit difficult to believe when you've got footballers that are knee deep in clunge on a slow Tuesday, going out and having to rape someone. Really, there's a lot of financial benefit as well to accuse. I'm not saying he hasn't done it. I'm not saying he has done it. But what I am saying is that when footballers do get accused, I always just get a little bit like, well, what's to gain? What's to lose? Okay, well, he has a lot of money. So, but again, look, I don't know. I am glad that he's left the club, though. Not because I don't like him, but it's just we don't need that cloud. Sorry, go on.
This is not a topic that we can just pass over. It's a big thing. There's a lot of talk about this, and it really goes down. The talk mainly is about how Arsenal handled the situation, because if you look at it, right, these accusations have been going on for at least a year now. There have been longer. There have been three different women that have come forward at different points. Now, I'm not saying he's guilty or whatever, right? But they are comparing it. For example, you look at Man City, the first sniff of accusation on Benjamin Mendy, suspended. We don't want to deal with that. We don't want to bring that sort of topics into the club. That's a separate issue. They froze his wages. They suspended him. Let's talk about how Arsenal actually handled the situation, Geezer. You've not just said
talk
it.
To me.
After a year, it's been going on longer than a year and a half, or definitely longer than a year. Arsenal should have handled it differently. The talk is, you know what, we need Partey. So we're going to exempt him from this and we're going to carry on playing him. They're saying that if it happened to a lesser player in the team, someone who's not as important as Partey, say, for example, it happened to Zinchenko. They're saying if it happened to someone like him, straight away, the club would have suspended him, suspended his wages and put him on the side burner. The thing with Partey and Arsenal Football Club is that they have decided to carry on playing him in the first team with these accusations still looming. And that also affects the reputation of Arsenal Football Club. That is the big talking point about this. It's not about how great of a player is as almost a world-class destroyer and whether he's leaving or not. We're talking about how Arsenal have handled the situation, right? Because honestly, from what I've read, what I've seen, it does not put their reputation in the best light. You can't play a player, who's been accused of a crime like that and still want to carry on playing him because you need him. It's wrong, Geezer. It's wrong. And
let me respond when you're done. Go on.
There, you can respond, Geezer. But it is a serious thing.
A lot of what you said is speculation. Let me explain. For example, if it happened with a lesser player, we don't know that we wouldn't have done the same thing. We don't know. We're speculating. Secondly, we're saying, because Thomas Partey is such an important player, that's why it hasn't happened. Here's why it's a lose-lose for Arsenal. It doesn't look good, but here's the counter. When you have accusations, you can't just start. Firstly, you can't just start suspending everyone that has an accusation, because you don't know how many players are going to get accused right now. He got accused 3 seasons ago. And if you remember, every time he stepped on the pitch, he was getting a lot of stick. Then the season after, he was basically injured the whole season. But again, we didn't suspend him. He was known as Glass, right? We also called him like Glass Partey because he's constantly injured. He spent the whole season injured. We never got the Partey, Rice, Odegaard that we wanted when Declan signed for us because Partey was injured the whole season. That could have been a time where we would have just been like, you know what, all this stuff hanging over his head, let's just suspend him. Now, what City did with Mendy, they suspended him, froze his wages, and what happened? He turned around, ended up suing Man City for millions. So now it's a lose-lose. We suspend him, freeze his wages, we run the risk of potentially getting sued. And here's the thing, Mark, I can go and accuse someone tomorrow of something. should they be suddenly lose their job because I made an accusation? I'm not trying to deny these women their accusation. It's an accusation, but then you have to follow the process, and he hadn't been charged. So until he gets charged, it's just an accusation. When I say just, it's an accusation of rape, which is massive. But have there been false accusations in the past? Yes, there have. So we can't just assume he's guilty, and therefore we can't just suspend him, in my opinion, because a couple of girls have accused him of something where he hasn't actually been charged. Now he's been charged. And by the way, the police weren't waiting to charge him until his contract ended out. Arsenal, we weren't going like, oh, police, I know you want to charge Partey, but wait, we've got Newcastle away on the weekend. Can you wait? That's not what happened, right? The guy's getting charged because now they're saying, okay, there might be something in this, and we've got enough that we think, okay, let's charge him because we think it could potentially lead to something happening in court. I hope to God the guy's not guilty, because that means that women have been raped, which is the worst thing that it's one of the worst things up there with paedophilia. I think me and you will agree on that. So I hope he hasn't done it for everyone's sake, and let's hope that is the case. But if it's an accusation, it's an accusation. Your whole 11 could get accused tomorrow. Would you want to just suspend them all? I imagine your whole 11 got, or 5 of it. Imagine Cole Palmer. I don't even like saying it, bro, because it's such a disgusting thing, Imagine like your best players, 4 or 5 best players suddenly got accused over the course of 6 months. You're going to suspend them all just on an accusation. I think it's a lose-lose, and City are now paying the price for it. They had to pay Mendy out, didn't they? So he took them to court, bro.
Yeah, of course you get. That's what. But yeah, he took him to court because he was free. He wasn't charged with anything, and they suspended him. So now he's gone back and wants his wages back, which is totally understandable, right? But with
plus damages.
Okay, fine. Plus damages. I think, look, we're going to have to move on. The last thing I'll say is I do disagree with you. I do get it. Oh, well, you're going to give me the scenario about what if a 5-10 or the whole Chelsea squad or the first 11 was accused and stuff. And I get that, yeah. And I don't know what to say. I would like to straight off the back and just say, you're going to have to suspend them, bro, because that does not look good on the club. I do think, opposite to you, I do think that they should have suspended him and done a Man City. Because what Man City
did... But without
did,
any evidence,
that's
Mark.
what I get.
Would you be happy if Cole Palmer got suspended without any evidence? It's based on an accusation.
If three different women came through, okay, maybe on the first one it's debatable. Because, bro, I don't know, man. I disagree.
It's bandwagon jumping, isn't it?
Look,
we are disagreeing on this, but I think
we're going to disagree.
It's a lose-lose. I do think it's a lose-lose. I just hate that it happens to someone in our club, But
you can't control.
I think a lot more people will probably there'll be a lot of people agreeing with you, Mark. So it's not. I'm not saying I'm fucking right. Sorry for swearing again, but it's a passionate subject. But I'm not saying I'm right.
Yeah. Look, that's fine. It is a taboo, very sensitive type of subject. We gave our thoughts on it. Let's move on. Now. Okay, what's next?
Well, we're going to Chelsea.
Okay.
So, Nico Jackson.
My God.
You've made some signings this season that we're aware of.
He ain't getting a sniff.
Made those signings.
He ain't getting a sniff, bro. No Club World Cup, bro.
It's such a shame, isn't it? I really am disappointed because now I feel like this is I think this is a realistic scenario that Nico Jackson's not in a Chelsea shirt next season. Talk to me. What do you think is going to happen? Is it realistic? Is it likely?
Yes.
I know it's realistic, but is it likely that he's leaving your club?
Yeah, because I don't think someone like him is going to be happy being third fiddle. You've got João Pedro, who looks like he is going to be the number 9 in Chelsea, especially after his last 2 performances in the Club World Cup. We're going to talk about João Pedro super. I've got a lot to say, Giza. I'm going to stick to the topic, but you've got João Pedro ahead of him. You've got Liam Delap ahead of him. He is not going to play third fiddle. He's going to have to be demoted to the conference. I don't think he's going to have that. Now, let's talk about his interest. Napoli, Juventus, a few other clubs in the Premier League, for example, Newcastle. Because of this building interest in Nico Jackson, Chelsea have slapped an evaluation on him. Do you know how much the evaluation is, Neil?
Hit me.
£100 million.
What?
Bro, for Nico Jackson. Now,
pence?
No. Shut up, bro. You
shillings.
Idiot. You idiot. 100 million. 2025 British pounds, bro. Yeah.
My God. Are you serious? You've just literally are a joke club, Mark. Carry on.
We're not a joke club, bro. No way. But it does. I don't understand the Chelsea board and how they think, how they evaluate players and their prices, because you're spending 55 million on Gittins, you're spending 60 million on João Pedro, who looks like he's going to absolutely destroy Nico Jackson in terms of like effectiveness and impact on the pitch. I don't understand how the board are going to put 100 million price tag on Nico Jackson. That is insane. The Chelsea board, what are you thinking? Now, I may come to regret this, because on the slimmest chance a club pays anywhere near that 100 million, I'm going to have to eat my own words. But I think, like every other Chelsea fan, and I know you, just by the way that you reacted, are laughing at that. I'll be shocked if they get anywhere near that. Me personally, I priced Nico Jackson, considering the market, Elanga 55 million, Tins 55 million. I will put him in today's bracket at 60 million, if that, 50 to 60 million. And I don't know. He might go to it. I'm sure he will have a much better impact if he goes to Napoli or something like that. Or maybe he won't, because his finishing is just so bad. But I hope, just like Madueke, now that we've got all these new incomings coming into this club, I would like to get rid of him. There's no space for him. And I reckon he'll just, sulk and bitch. Sorry. But you asked me initially, is he going? He's going to go, bro. I'll be shocked if he stays. I'll be shocked. What's your thoughts?
Firstly, I think even an evaluation of 50 to 60 million is too strong. But secondly, I want to go back to your point, and Chelsea can slap whatever price tag they want on him. If someone's going to pay it, more fool them.
Yeah.
But, and then it'll be a masterstroke from Chelsea. You said something like Nico Jackson won't want to play third fiddle behind the Lap and Pedro. Here's my thinking. If I am Nico Jackson and I've got the ability of Nico Jackson and I'm as limited as Nico Jackson, I would stay at Chelsea if I could, even if I was fifth choice backup, because that is a level you will never get to. And he has got a chance to be surrounded by really, really top players with top talent. He could actually learn something and become a bit better. His movement's pretty decent, actually. I would say his movement's not bad at all. But Nico Jackson as a player needs to develop so much further. And if he's got the arrogance and the ego of, well, I should be a number one choice, I ain't going to be in the Premier League, son. It certainly ain't going to be at a massive club like Chelsea. You are punching, bro. You are punching. Stay there, even if you're 10th choice backup. Beg them not to sell you. Beg them. Please don't sell me for £10. I'll pay you. That's what Nico Jackson should do to evolve. But that would be insane. 100 million. You ain't even getting half of that. You ain't getting half of it. Nico Jackson.
We will. We'll get 50 million plus.
See.
Watch this space. Right, let's move on.
Okay. All right. I want to talk to you about a potential outgoing. We've spoken about him before. Petrovic. Potentially going to Bournemouth, right? Kepa was at Bournemouth last season. We've nabbed him up. Now they're in the market for Petrovic. Your thoughts, please.
Bro, I am disappointed. I'm extremely disappointed, because the board, and especially Enzo Maresca, cannot be happy with error-prone Robert Sanchez. Yes, he actually had a really good Club World Cup. Yes, he made some important saves yesterday in the Club World Cup, and he even set up the assist for Cole Palmer. I mean, that lob straight into Malo Gusto, I haven't seen that for Robert Sanchez. Now, disregard that. You can't keep Robert Sanchez based on a couple of very good games, which just happened recently. You can't take that risk. Chelsea have to progress, and it's too risky to progress with a goalkeeper's quality of Robert Sanchez. You can't do it. Now you're getting rid of Jordi Petrovic, who I told you before in previous podcasts, I'll be so happy if he just stays and becomes the number one, because his stats at Strasbourg last season were up there with some of the best. Bournemouth are getting a super quality player, goalkeeper player in Jordi Petrovic. For me, I would have loved to keep him, and I'd love to And I would have loved him to be my number one keeper. And selling him for 25 million in today's market is a joke. Bournemouth, they smashed it. Again, Chelsea board have messed up. Now, me saying that, yeah, it's still a long way to go in the window. I do not want to act like an Arsenal fan. And, you know, the first week of the window, oh my God, we ain't signed nobody. Oh my God. I know, right? There's still a long time to go. They must have a plan. Mike Maignan doesn't look like it's going to happen. Okay? Which is a shame because, you know, the manager of AC Milan has come out and said, you know what, that ship has sailed and now he's going to be staying. And that's because Chelsea were cheap on a couple of pounds, right? So that's my thoughts on it. It does lead on, okay, to the next transfer rumour. But before we get into that, what is your thoughts about what I just said?
Well, if you weren't linked to the next transfer rumour, then I'd be like, this is insane. But I don't know how strongly you are linked to the next one. I think everything that you said there is fair. You can't go into the new season with Sanchez and expect to win anything. I've said it time and time again. I said it to you Chelsea boys, are also our Chelsea mate who's just super biased as hell. You can't go into the new season with Robert Sanchez as your goalkeeper, your number one goalkeeper, and expect to win anything of note. You might pick up an FA Cup, you might pick up an EFL Cup, but you ain't challenging for the Premier League. And you ain't going to do squat in the Champions League, not with a keeper like Sanchez. So I agree with you. And of all the stuff that you said in the past about Petrovic, and I've kind of just poked the bear a little bit, I do agree. I think Petrovic is a good keeper. And I think 25 mil is a bit of a steal, isn't it? So I agree with you.
Well done.
Yes, well done to Bournemouth. If they get him. Now, there's a lot of moving parts here. So one goalkeeper to the next goalkeeper. Petrovic may go to Bournemouth. But Chelsea are also linked to Donnarumma, who many say, is currently the best goalkeeper in the world. I'm not one of them, by the way.
I'm not one of them either. I'm not one of them.
So we're definitely not two of them. But regardless, he's a great goalkeeper. You are linked with Donnarumma. Thoughts on A, is it realistic? And B, if you got him, how would you feel about it?
Firstly, it's realistic because the reports coming out of France is that they're looking to ship him on. I don't know who they're going to get as a replacement. Of course, these are just rumours, and this is this week's weekly transfer news and transfer rumours. So the rumour is they're planning on shipping him off. I don't know the exact reasons why. Maybe he's not happy. Maybe they want to get a replacement. I don't know who are they going to get. Okay, but whatever it is, he is looking to move on, and that is a strong rumour. It fits perfectly with Chelsea because Chelsea do need a new number one goalkeeper. So that's why those two are connected. Would I be happy with him over Robert Sanchez, over the 10 plus goalkeepers that we have on our books? Sell all of them, keep Robert Sanchez as a backup, and get Donnarumma, because no matter what, even though you and I agree that he is not the best goalkeeper in the world, he's one of them. He's one of them. But I put David Raya above him. I put Thibaut Courtois above him. I put Alisson above him. But Donnarumma is proven. He does have some mistakes in him which annoy me, which even remind me a little bit of Robert Sanchez. He does have a bit of an attitude problem. I mean, you've seen after the Club World Cup, there was a bit of a hissy fit with him, right? You know, I've said it before.
He's a winner, though. He's a winner.
He's a winner. He's a winner. And I've said it before. And if you guys haven't seen our Club World Cup reaction and our review, watch that. Because in that video, I also clearly state that PSG are winners. Yesterday, they were the sorest losers. What happened yesterday at the end of the game was, I just thought you saw losers. That's my reaction. You saw losers.
Mark, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser.
I respect
I
that.
get it. I do get it.
I respect that. But the way that you're flapping, pushing people around and stuff, that's unnecessary. No, you can be a sore loser and not do that. There's other ways.
Agreed.
Right. But would I be happy with him? Yes. Your thoughts?
Massive, massive upgrade. As I said, he's a winner, not just on a club level. He's won at international level. Yeah. He has a massive attitude, ego, and wingspan. The guy is monstrous. And for such a big guy, he really moves in the goal. I think he's agile. He's got great
athletic
hand. Yeah, he's athletic, dude. I think Donnarumma is like night and day between Sanchez and whatever else. Yeah, look, he might have an attitude, probably might not. Currently, he's coming off pretty much having won everything bar one trophy this whole season. Or last season, he won everything. So the guy is a top goalkeeper. You're right. I have the same goalkeepers you mentioned above him. But that doesn't mean to say that he's not bouncing around with those boys. He is massive. If you get him, that will be a real coup. That will be a big statement signing. Let's see. Let us know your thoughts on that one. Before we go, Mark, I want to just, and I know we've been talking for a while here. I want to throw another name at you, yeah? When this kid was coming in, you know, the darling, Anoop, he was like, he's going to be sick. And Nkunku this, and Nkunku that, and Nkunku, I love him. And Nkunku what? Now he's linked at leaving you boys. Is that going to happen? And if it did, would you be happy to get rid of Nkunku? Was that just the biggest waste of time or what?
Look, right. About Christopher Nkunku, I was also extremely excited when he arrived, right? He was the Bundes Player of the Year. I think he was the top scorer for 1 or 2 years. And I was excited. The problem with him is that I can imagine him going to a different team and absolutely smashing it. If you play him in the right position, in his favoured position, and you give him a little bit of time to adapt, right? I think that Maresca has messed him around, and that has affected his mental game. You can look at Christopher Nkunku in the past season, the last season, he just did not want to be there. It did not look like he wanted to play for the badge. When you have someone like that, the only option you have is to ship him off. He was almost completely ineffective in the games where you needed to be. You can score 15 goals in a Conference League. Bro, that's not saying much. Those guys, have we said it before, they're a bunch of farmers and pharmacists and lawyers and stuff like that. You're supposed to tear those type of teams down. But you put him in the Premier League, he was playing out of position. He was not favoured by the manager. It affected his mental game. But I would not be surprised at all. He goes to another top level team. They favour him. They see him as a first starter. You put him in his number one preferred position. I think we'll see some real damage. Now, do I think he's going to leave? Yes, I think he's going to leave. For a few reasons I've just mentioned. I don't think he's happy. I don't think he likes playing under Maresca's system. I don't think he's going to be happy with all the new signings coming in that are going to be, above him in the pecking order. You're going to have to sell him and sell him quick because his stock is dropping faster than you can say fast. Every second it's dropping. Chelsea should have sold him into Bayern Munich, who put an offer in the January transfer window. But stubborn Chelsea said, nah, let's keep him. Let's keep him so he can sit on the bench and play in the Conference League. Again, another mess up by Chelsea board. These are facts, bro, what I'm speaking. But he ain't going to stay. If he stays, that'll be a cock-up from Chelsea Football Club. It'll be a cock-up for Nkunku for wanting to stay and not pushing through for a move. You're just going to be playing third, fourth fiddle, playing in whatever. Not even the Conference League, win the Champions League. You're going to be playing in like the Carling Cup. If you're happy with that, then stay. But he's got to go.
Fair. You've got top draw talent there and you're just not utilising it. It's like you've got a potential Ferrari and you've just put it in the garage and it's just building cobwebs. And when you do take it out of a test run, you've put the wrong petrol in. So I just think I agree with everything we're saying. It's a shame. It's a shame. I think Maresca's wasting him. And I think Maresca, honestly, is going to end up doing more bad than good at your club over the long haul, depending on how long he stays. We'll see this season. I could be wrong. But
it's hard to say that because I'm not the biggest Maresca fan. But in his first season, he improved, got more points, got us into Champions League, got us to fourth position, won the Conference League, won the Club World Cup. When you stack these achievements and say that he's going to do more, he's going to do more bad than good. Yeah, I do see where you're coming from. But even though I would like to get rid of him and I still kind of stay that he has deserved the chance to stay on. And now he's getting
100
the players. You get me? A Chelsea fan cannot be too mad. But it's just the way that he plays. I know the Club World Cup, the team played really well and stuff, but you've got to do it consistently throughout the whole season, not just at the end of the season and the last tournament. So, and that's pretty much it. I mean, guys, let us know what you think about everything we said. I'm sure there's going to be some of you who completely disagree with us, and that's completely fine. Let us know in the comments down below. We're going to reply to every single one of you guys. And if you want to see more of our content, click this video right here, and boom, we'll see you lot in the next one. Peace, guys.